Hey everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is just a little tiny bit after 1 o'clock. I'm so sorry for being late, but let me just be sure that we're transmitilating over here and that I can see what's going on. I hope everybody is staying warm and is safe and has power. And if you don't, I hope you get it soonly, which is, code for really soon. All right, so I have a pretty card today that uses two bundles. The first is probably the primary bundle, really, if I was being straight, is the art gallery bundle. I've used the sentiments and flowers here and also the floral gallery dies to create my sentiment. And then because I had them and because I'm just the tiniest bit, maybe the tiniest bit obsessed with the Butterfly Brilliance and the bundled Brilliant Wings, especially this beautiful die, and well, okay, all of them. Let's not be fibbing here. All of them. I have added a couple of butterflies because it turns out when you stamp and cut, or you cut some of the DSP butterflies, you get butterflies all over. You have a whole fluttering of flutterbys, and I have several sitting around waiting to be used, but I used a couple that were in my stash. So let's go ahead and start. This is the card that we're gonna do, and on the inside it says, just to say I'm thinking of you. In case you're wondering, terracotta tile is such a close second to Pretty Peacock of the two colors from the 2019-2021 in colors that I am so going to miss. All right, so, but this is a great color combination, terracotta tile and petal pink. And so let's make us a card, shall we? I have done a bunch of cutting now, and all of these dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow, so you don't need to worry about it at all. I started with a piece of the let me show you the paper it is. Hang on, just so you can see it. It's this paper right here in the full 12 by 12, and you can actually get 6 card fronts out of this, okay? At 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, which is my normal card front, or even at 4 inches by 6, okay? Or 4 inches by 5 1/4 if you wanted to. You could get 6 card fronts out of this. So I used this design, and then there's also a matching design for those flowers in the Golden Garden acetate, and I used that as well. So all you have to do to create a card front with this is cut the same size of the, let's see, the Fine Art Floral. This is Fine Art Floral DSP, and then the same size from the same location on the 12 by 12 cardstock that you did on the, let me show you how that works. See, if you get this over here, then, hang on, you just have to get it turned around and it'll get all lined up. This may be a different piece. Anyway, trust me, it works. I promise it does. All right. We got some folks watching. Nobody's making comments. Are you there? Are you there? Are you too cold to talk? All right. So what I did is I cut 2 of the same parts of each of those DSPs. All right. The Floral Art Gallery piece, and then the Golden Garden acetate piece. Then I ran them through. I layered them up like they're going to be, and I ran them through my cutter with a stitched rectangle die in place, okay? So what I have is a frame and a centerpiece. Now, let's go ahead and get these adhered. I'm going to use a terracotta tile mat, and I'm gonna adhere these one at a time with some liquid glue. All right. So is everybody staying warm? It's not easy to stay warm, especially if you're in Texas or Oklahoma, or gosh, my husband's family in Little Rock, Little Rock had 15 inches of snow. That's crazy. That's crazy amounts of snow. And they are not at all prepared for any kind of snow like that, I can assure you. Okay, now I'm going to put my lid on here. And I'm going to take that frame of the Golden Garden acetate, and you can see one side is gold, one side is silver. I'm using the gold side up. And to adhere this, I'm going to take some of my fine tip glue, and I'm just going to dot it. And I do mean dot it. So let me get a dot started. I'm going to dot it in the acetate area. And I just went crazy there. Okay. So just put little dots. You can kind of get it started. You may not be able to see this. I'm almost certain, but I'm just using little dots behind all of the printed areas. Okay? Like so. And then that way this glue will not show on your card. Okay? Now remember, this glue takes a little longer to set up than maybe the liquid glue does, the white glue, but I don't think you can get the white glue small enough to not show. That's just my personal thought. If you are better at it than I am, go for it. Okay, now you just want to be sure that you line the design up. Let me get that little piece off, so that the gold parts go where they are supposed to go. And you can see what it does is it just highlights that beautiful design. Can you see how nicely that overlays? Get a little bit of not quite straight here, so we'll make sure we get it straightened up before it sets. Okay. So you can see how the gold outline has accentuated the beautifulness of the DSP. Okay, now I'm going to put this little doohickey back on here so that we don't, she says. Okay, this is the hardest part about this card, is putting the little pin back in the little glue thingy. There we go. Okay, and then we'll take this off, and I'm going to just adhere these back in versus popping them on. Okay, so it's a little different. And I'm going to do the DSP first, and then we'll do the acetate. All right, and just slide it right back into its location. And then we'll do the same with our fine tip glue that we did on the frame portion. I feel so bad for the folks in Texas who, I mean, they just truly are not equipped at all. All their windmills are frozen and their solar panels are covered in snow, and somehow this is calving and horse baby season, and my goodness, it's just hard. It's just hard, and I feel very bad for everybody. I know they're cold and not happy campers right now. All right, so we're going to just stick this in place, making sure to line everything up, edges and design, and there we go. And if you're good and careful with your fine tip liquid glue, you won't be able to see any glue at all. All right. All right, now I just want to say, usually you guys aren't so quiet, so if you're making comments, for some reason, it's not showing up on my screen. And I don't know why exactly, because I can see my video. So I'm not sure. If you're making comments and I am not answering, I apologize profusely. It's because I'm not seeing them on my screen for whatever reason. I just don't even know why. I don't even know why. So, anywho, okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to take, I cut a stitched shapes die, a square, and it is going to hold my sentiment. So let me show you all of my little die cuts. Now, I only used 3 of the words in the die from Floral Gallery, because all I wanted to put in here was just to say, as in just to say, I'm thinking of you, which is on the inside. All right, so I'm going to adhere these to my square. And I've also got the little, you know, no, it's not a tilde because that's the thing that goes over the N. I know what that thing is. That is the dot. But I've forgotten. I've totally forgotten. So my big exciting news for this week is I finally broke down. I bought a new iPhone. So now I have the most latest and greatest of cameras. Can you not tell the exquisite difference? We're just spellbound with that gorgeous card. Okay, Audrey, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. But see, what's weird is I saw that out of the corner of my eye in my phone, but not on my screen. So not really sure what the deal is. I suspect it's something where my phone is not talking to my computer because I haven't got it set up right. Anyway, please know I appreciate any and all comments. I just don't see them right now. Okay, so I'm just adhering these. This is terracotta tile in case you could not figure that out. And I'm just going to adhere them with liquid glue to the stitched shaped square. Okay. Isn't this a fun die? What I really like about this is that you get all of the words separate, as opposed to all hooked together, where if you want to just use part of them, you have to cut them apart. So this is pretty handy. You get just want to say, you get 4 words that you can do with as you like. I'm going to put that like so, and then I'm going to carefully pick up my little J-dotter thingy and put that in place as well. That was so graceful. Did you see how I did that? So graceful. All right, now I'm going to pop this on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to add some butterflies from Brilliant Wings, one of my favorite new things. I'm so glad this is coming out in the annual catalog. If you haven't seen my special bundle, you really should. It's a pretty good little savings, and it'll be something that I will get ordered for you right first thing on the 2nd. And you can get some add-on packs. So if you want some extra DSP, you can get those as well with similar savings. All right, so I'm going to just make sure it's, you know, like upside right. And we're going to adhere it right about there. Okay, now I'm going to take a piece of terracotta tile, scalloped edge linen thread, ribbon. It's not thread at all. It's way more like ribbon than thread, like it's not thread at all. And then I'm going to use a couple of glue dots and wrap this around the bottom and adhere them in the back, as you might have expected. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to make it straight. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a glue dot on there on the underside, like so. Because otherwise I have to stick it under there and it doesn't always work as well as I think it's going to. All right, so just don't press it down and you'll be fine. You'll have time to move it around. We're just going to lay it across straight and then adhere it in the back. Okay. Like so, just like so. Okay, now look at these. You know, I don't know how many times and how many ways to say how very, very much I love these dies. Okay, what I did is I used this smaller detailed die to cut a single petal pink butterfly. And then I used this medium-sized one to cut 2 petal pink butterflies. And I used the large outline die to cut the DSP. Remember how this cuts the DSP? Like this. Cuts right out. You just lay that die right over the DSP and bing bada boom, you have got 6 butterflies like that, which is awesome. All right, so I've used a couple of the little ones, and I am going to adhere this, not that one. These two go together. And then one of the larger petal pinks, I'm going to adhere to this So Saffron butterfly, like so. Just like that. And once it dries a little bit, I'm going to do a little wing curling. And then a smaller petal pink over this terracotta tile and petal pink flutterby. And then these two I'm going to adhere as well together. Okay. The possibilities for making gorgeous butterflies is almost unlimited. I'm just saying. You can make them until the cows come home, which is pretty early in the morning, just so you know. I've heard that's pretty early. I don't really know when cows come home, but it's pretty early in the morning. Okay, so I'm just curling the top one a little bit on here. And I'm going to curl this top one a little bit. And then we're just going to adhere them with some liquid glue to the card front. Then we'll add a couple little rhinestones, and this bad boy will be done on the front. Okay, so come here. Come here. Now this one, what I'd liked to do with this is I'm going to tuck him under the corner of that popped up sentiment. And then I'm going to take the other one and adhere it right there like so. Okay? And this one is actually going to want a dimensional because that's what it's going to do. So let's go ahead and adhere this with liquid glue. When you're looking at your die cuts and you're adhering them to dimensionalized areas, you want to use dimensionals on your die cuts kind of judiciously to help support your cut, okay? So like right here, I would use liquid glue under this wing and then put a dimensional over here to support it because you've got it up on this popped up sentiment. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. All right. Now I'm just going to stick that right there on the card front because I can, and then I'll put a little liquid glue on his left wing. And I've already pulled the sticker off. All right, so we'll just put him like so. And then I'm going to put this little dude down in the bottom left corner. Like so. And he can think about what he's doing. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because this doesn't have any glue under it. I'm going to pick this up a little bit, maybe. Nope, it seems to have held itself down just fine. What you could do is, if you were concerned about the fact that there's really no glue over on this side, see how it's come up? Is you could actually take a little bit of your clear glue, I'll show you that, and slide it up under here. So you, at this point, you know where it's completely covered by the sentiment. So you don't need to really worry about that. And you could actually do the same over here if you're concerned about that too. And since there's not a lot of glue over here, I'm going to just go ahead and do that. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I just kind of smeared it around under there to give it a little bit of a stickum. Okay. Now another try to get in there. Man, that's really, okay, I must be getting like old. Apparently when you hit your 30s, that becomes harder. Okay. Now we're going to take a couple of champagne rhinestones and add them to our card front. And then we'll get the inside done. I'll put one right there. And then I'm going to put a medium one and a small one. Love champagne rhinestones. These could stay in the book forever. Actually, I want this one to be a little bit bigger. Let me pick that up. It looked medium when I looked at it, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh, I'm on the wrong end. Duh. There we go. And that's our card front, just like that. Isn't that pretty? I love these little guys. Love them. Give that a little bit of a curl Are they going to stay curled after you put them in your envelope? Probably not, but they look pretty while you're getting there, right? Okay. Now let's see, somewhere I had a piece of white. Okay, here we go. Now I have a piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment from Art Gallery in terracotta tile in the center of it. Alrighty. I'm thinking of you. Obviously it could be happy birthday, it could be congratulations. There's multiple, you can see there's multiple sentiments in there. So whatever kind of a card you need, you can make 6 with this set of papers, 2 of the 12 by 12s, one from the Floral, Fine Art Floral, and one from the Golden Garden Acetate. Okay, there's I'm Thinking of You. Now, I'm going to make a flower, and I'm going to use petal pink and terracotta tile. So the first image I'm going to do, normally I would probably do I would probably use this one first because it's like step 1. But because my step 2 is darker, that's what I'm going to stamp first. So I'm stamping the number 2 image first. Okay, because it's a lot easier lining up a light onto a dark than a dark onto a light, if that made sense. And I'm going to keep this soft, so I'm going to stamp off my terracotta tile once. And then I'm going to stamp it into the corner. And while I have it out, I'll just do my envelope. Same way exactly. Stamp it off once. And then stamp it in the corner. Like that. Okay. And then I will take what was the number 1 image, and I'm going to do a second. And I'm inking it in petal pink. And that one's going to be full strength. Okay, and we're just going to line that up right over the top. And I love that. That's a good color combination, isn't it? So pretty. Okay, and then we'll do it again on the inner liner. So you almost couldn't line that up. It'd be very hard, okay? But when you do the dark color first, then it becomes pretty simple. Okay, I'm also going to take the little inner one, which is image number 3, and I'm going to ink it, stamp it off once, and stamp it in the middle of the flower, just to give it a little more depth. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, when the heat is on, oh shoot, there's a little boo-boo. Oh well, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I will erase that later with my eraser. Or I will stamp something over the top of it when I get there. Okay, so now I'm going to put this aside, and we'll use a little liquid glue to adhere it to our terracotta tile mat. Okay, let's see. I'm sitting here watching this video making a card with a set. It's also a fun fold, but a different one. Oh, cool, Cheryl. Pretty cool. All right, there we go. And then I have got a petal pink card. How gorgeous. I love, that is a great color combination. Petal pink and terracotta tile. Y'all, seriously, if you want to keep terracotta tile or any of the in colors in your stash, you really need to start stocking up on cardstock and the ink refillers, inks if you've got them, and really anything else that goes in the 2019 to 2021. The cardstocks and ink refillers will go really fast once the retiring list comes out in the middle of March. But for now, you really want to get things ordered. Also, don't forget the 2019-2021 DSP. Okay, and then I'm going to take and pop the card front on with some dimensionals. I try to remember to use up my little strips so that I don't have a ton of little strips sticking around, each one with 1 or 2 dimensionals on it. I'm not always successful with that, but I try. It's a goal. It's a goal. It's one of those, geez, really? That's your goal, Mary? Goodness. Is that the best you can do for goals? Some people want to run in the Olympics. I want to use up all the dimensionals on one strip of dimensionals. Yeah, lofty, I know. Not easily achieved by mere mortals. Okay, we'll just pull these off and stick it down. Y'all, did you know that Celebration is almost over? Serious. Cannot even believe it. Because that means there's really only like 10.5 months before Christmas. Really? Is this the party? I'm late. Yes, it is the party, Denise. Welcome. Welcome. I think it was Denise. I'm trying to read off my phone, which is too high for me right now to do that because for some reason my computer is not helping me. I tell you what, you get a new phone, it takes forever to get everything synced up. Okay, so there's our card. A little bit different than the first one, but not much. But you can see the difference that you get just by using a different section of the DSP, right? So like I said, you can get 6 cards out of one 12 by 12 sheet just by cutting the 2 DSPs. It's one 12 by 12 of the Fine Art DSP and one of the Golden Garden acetate. Same design. And you can just cut them equally and layer them over the top of each other. All right, so we'll finish off our envelope by adhering a piece of the DSP to it. And it does have an up and down, just throwing that out there. So be sure that you put it on right side up. Unless that doesn't bother you, it would make me insane, and then I would have wasted both a piece of paper and an envelope. Okay, there we go. I love this paper. It's so beautiful, and especially in this particular image, you can just see it looks just like oil has been, you know, smeared on with a palette knife, like that's how they do it. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. I've seen movies. I know these things. All right, now somewhere around here was my snippy snips. Here they go. We'll just give that a little rub. I'm so dorky. I mean, my dork level is very high. I just put the DSP, I put the glue on the DSP instead of on the envelope flap. How long have I been doing this now? 5 years? And I... Don't be like me, y'all. Put your liquid glue on your envelope flap and then put the DSP down. It will be much better, and you won't have to come back and fix it like I have to do. What a dork. Okay, let's try it. Let's just see if we can just fix that. I was doing it, and my brain's going, something doesn't seem right here. One of these things is not like the other. All right, there we go. And that is it. Now, truth in lending, I probably will come back and stamp another small flower there to cover that up because that's gonna annoy me no end. But there you go, 2 cards, Right Quick Like a Bunny from the Art Gallery bundle and the wonderful new Butterfly Brilliance bundle. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you will try these cards, and I hope you will get Butterfly Brilliance, Butterfly Bouquet when it comes out. You're gonna love it. Hey, Denise, if you would just send me an email, I will be glad to help you with my customer rewards program. All right, you guys, thanks so much. Have a wonderful week, and hopefully I'll see you Saturday night, and hopefully I'll see some of you tonight on my Zoom, Zoom the Craft Room. I don't even know what it's called. It's called Zoom the Craft Room, 7 o'clock Eastern. See ya. Bye.